were a number of NFL scandals in 2014. Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson were involved in probably the most notorious NFL scandals. And for those of you who don't remember, Ray Rice was in headlines after there was a video leaked of him knocking out his then fiancee, Janae, with a single punch. We do have the video for you guys, so let's take a quick look at that.
Okay, this is always tough to watch, especially after he knocks her out.
Yeah, totally. By far the. Yeah, we don't need to see that again. But he just stands over.
He doesn't check. Are you okay? No. And well, you think he's going to check? No, he's not checking. He's just dragging her unconscious body out of the elevator.
Right.
Oh, wrong floor. He drops her again.
Yeah.
And then picks her up, drags her out.
And lays her down with her legs in the middle of them. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And later picks up the shoe because the shoe's expensive. And
kicks her body.
Stands over, just steps over. Oh, they're so in love.
So now I feel horrible for her in 8,000 different ways because she's had to have everybody watch this video. Obviously, she's embarrassed by it. She is now with Ray Rice. They got married. And she feels violated in all these different ways. And she says, no, he really is good to me. There's no way of knowing if that was the one time he did it or if, like, as in the case of domestic violence, it happens often. Mm-hmm. But to me, there's no excuse for any of it. But his incredible indifference to her fate as she hit her head on that, and not just his punch, but she hit her head on the railing, right?
Yeah.
And she's sitting there unconscious, and he's like, whatever.
Yeah,
That's
or
not
oh, man, I am in trouble. I'm in trouble if she doesn't wake up, you know.
But then the way he dragged her out, like he was kicking her, like he didn't seem like, oh, it didn't snap him back to his senses.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care if it was the only time. You don't get one knockout in a relationship, like, oh,
but
I hit him hard.
But if it was the only time, if it were the only time, if it had been the only time, a regular person, at the moment you hit someone you care about, and you instantly are like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
that's right.
Check them or something. Christ, you don't pick them up and then when it's not the right floor, you drop them.
If he dropped to his knee and yelled for help,
changes the whole dynamic.
I might think that's a guy who had not done that before, and maybe
I
don't know.
You don't throw a punch. Like maybe he pushes her or something.
Yeah,
like,
no, of course.
You don't. Your instinct is to throw a punch. There's something wrong with you.
We're not taking into consideration that a woman who's much smaller than him and weaker than him had the audacity to possibly yell at him and then charge at him before he punched her. So
people are making that claim. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look, of course she shouldn't have hit him either. Everybody knows that.
And
right?
Please do not discount the fact that he's not the only one who had to deal with prosecution. She had to deal with prosecution as well. Assault charges, right? And so it's not as if, oh, women get to do whatever they want. They get to beat the shit out of their husbands. No. If you are beating anyone up, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you're going to have to deal with prosecution.
Do those people really believe that if Janae Rice had knocked out Ray Rice and stood over his body like, whatever, right, that we wouldn't be mad at her?
It's ridiculous.
We'd be like, oh, that's perfectly fine because it's a woman doing it to a guy.
Impressive.
No, it's abhorrent either way. How can you defend Ray Rice? Okay, anyway. So, but it's not really about Ray Rice. It's about the NFL and their reaction, right? So it turns out, we find out because of this story, that it's the tip of the iceberg, that in reality, that for a long time, that whenever somebody was complained about domestic abuse, the NFL would come in, they'd talk to the cops, they'd say, hey, make sure you don't file charges. They'd pretend that they were going to help the woman, but in the entire time, what they would be doing is making sure that she didn't go to the police, that she didn't report it, and then once they were through that process and they had saved their beloved reputation, the thing that they care more about anything else, they'd limited the PR damage, then they would stop returning our calls.
Yeah.
So, oh man, that does not speak well of the organization. And then you had the Adrian Peterson case.
Yeah, it is really fascinating to read reports about particular NFL teams and how cozy they were with local police departments, right? And there were a lot of favors being made, like, oh, you look out for us, you get tickets to the game. You look out for us, you get to hang out with the players. They had a very comfy relationship. And so if the same police officials who are supposed to keep these women safe from domestic violence are really good friends with the players, what's the likelihood that justice will be served in these cases?
Yeah.